Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into this edition of the Greene Room. Good to hear that a lot of people have said that they've been tuning into the Greene Room, so glad to hear that we have a viewing audience out there. Glad to know I'm not just talking to myself while I'm doing this. Anyway, tonight we're going to get into the latest from the NBA playoffs, a little bit of NHL playoff preview, Major League Baseball, and hey, we've been sprinkling a little bit of college football, but we start tonight with the big story, and that is the NBA playoffs. And back in July, whenever the decision happened, LeBron James said one of his main goals was to beat the Boston Celtics. He felt like that was his hump that he needed to get over. Remember, the Cavaliers were eliminated by the Celtics last season. Well, ladies and gentlemen, tonight LeBron James did exactly that. The Miami Heat go on a 16-0 run to close out the game, including two, wait for it, clutch three-pointers by LeBron James in order to close out the Boston Celtics. LeBron James goes for 33 points. Dwayne Wade goes for 34 as the Miami Heat go on to beat the Boston Celtics 97-87. They move on to the next round. They await the winner of either Chicago or Atlanta, the winner of that series. Right now, the other game that you had going on, very different. You had Oklahoma City and Memphis, and as we all recall a couple of nights ago, this game went to triple overtime. Well, the Oklahoma City Thunder would have none of that tonight. They go on to beat the Grizzlies 99-72. Marc Gasol, the only player for the Memphis Grizzlies in double digits for the night. Kevin Durant, the leading scorer for the Oklahoma City Thunder with 19 points. Now on to a little bit more news, and that's back to the Fiesta Bowl and the scandal that we had going on there. Well, it turns out that the Fiesta Bowl will keep their standing as a BCS Bowl. Catch this, all they have to do is pay $1 million fine. But the president who was in charge of the bowl, who was in charge of giving $45,000 in reimbursements for political campaigns, and spent $33,000 on a private trip and birthday bash, and another $13,000 for a wedding and honeymoon, and $1,200 at a strip club. Apparently, all you have to do to make up for that is pay $1 million fine. Now, they did fire the president, but still, I'm giving my opinion on this one. I think it was just a little bit too lackadaisical and more of a slap on the wrist than anything else. Pretty much saying, hey, you misappropriate funds, just kind of pay back right around whatever you did. Not the correct message, in my opinion, that the NCAA is sending, but I'm not in the NCAA subcommittee for all of these things. I don't make these decisions. I just report the stories. All right, now on to a little bit of playoff hockey preview. The last series of the NHL wrapping up, and it's the Detroit Red Wings and the San Jose Sharks. After Detroit fell behind 3-0, they're looking to win in Game 7. They would only be the fourth team in a hockey history. Now, we saw the Flyers do it against the Bruins last year, and we thought the Blackhawks were going to do it earlier this year, but they were eliminated, so we will see if the Sharks can overcome that hump of being that team that just can't quite get it done in the playoffs, or if the Detroit Red Wings will show why they are a four-time Stanley Cup champion team. So, interesting to find out how that one will turn out there. Now on to a couple of baseball scores right now. The Giants are up on the Diamondbacks 4-3. That game is at the end of the 7th inning, going into the top of the 8th. The Angels are up 4-2 on the White Sox with no outs at this point in the top of the 9th inning. The Padres beat the Brewers 13-6. The Tigers beat the Twins 9-7. The Astros top the Reds 4-3. The Orioles beat the Mariners 4-2. Felix Hernandez pitching lights out, but yet again gets the loss. He's sitting at 4-3. The Mets and the Rockies ended up being postponed for this evening because of rain and snow. The Rays beat the Indians 8-2. The Dodgers beat the Pirates 2-0. The Royals beat the Yankees in 11 innings 4-3. The Nationals topped the Braves 7-3. It took 11 innings. The Nationals putting up 4 runs in the top of the 11th. The Blue Jays beat the Red Sox 9-3. The Phillies come away with the win 5-3. Cliff Lee does not get the win, though. And the Cubs take it to the Cardinals 11-4. Now, Last score that you might be wondering about, the Texas Rangers were playing the Oakland Athletics. They had a 7-0 lead. Matt Harrison pitching lights out. Mitch Moreland had hit a grand slam. And then the thunderstorms came. It is a rain delay. The game ends up being postponed. None of the stats count. Start it all over again whenever they decide to play the game again. Really disappointing for the Rangers, who were looking to win their first series in their last 4 series. Yes, that's right. They've dropped the last 4. But good news, Josh Hamilton expected to take full-on batting practice by about Friday, but his deadline is still about 2 weeks or so from now. And Tommy Hunter has another groin injury, so it'll be 2 to 3 weeks before he's throwing off the mound again. Not a lot going on there, but Alexei Ogando should be making a start very soon. Had to skip his last start because of blisters on his hand. Nolan Ryan, though, apparently gave him several pointers about what he could do about that one, so should be interesting to see about that. And last but not least, I want to inform everybody formally that I will be an intern this summer at ESPN Dallas. Very excited about this opportunity to work in the sporting world. Just wanted to throw that out there in the internet, but don't worry, still be getting all of your updates here nightly. Well, folks, we've been here in our Arlington studios. We'll be going back and forth between Arlington and Austin a little bit over the next couple of weeks, but we'll eventually settle back in here, get a little bit more of a permanent setup than just sitting here on the bed with a couple of posters. But keep tuning in. Until then, have a good evening. Hook 'em horns.